someone that I can talk to, and then I can introduce them to the one who cares the most. As a generation, we were never called to change people. We were called to love them so that we could introduce them to the one that can.
Yeah,
And that's
I
go
think
ahead.
I think people, they see church people and they automatically assume an agenda.
Always,
Automatically,
always,
because, I mean,
always.
if we have numbers, you know what I mean? We're a successful church when really it should
Right.
be quality, not quantity.
Yeah, quality. You're 5 and this is what I tell my buddy, he's got a youth group of 10 kids, and he's like, "Man, you're running." We started with 4, we run about 50 to 70, just depending on the given night. He's got 10, and I was like, "Dude, but you could have the next Billy Graham.
Yeah,
Like, you have no idea. Like, your 10 might be able to go out and reach and do things in the world that my 70 never do."
yeah.
Like, we have to quit shifting focus on what, is successful in the church. And that's a really big deal to me.
I've been studying, Abraham and Sarah. It used the word illegitimate promise, and it was
Yeah,
talking about the maidservant or whatever that, the wife of Sarah was like, "Hey, just take her. God's taken," you know? It had been
right,
25 years from when he was promised until it actually came to happen, and
right.
they were growing impatient, but the numbers that God promised him, it started
Mhm,
with 1 child.
right.
It started with 1.
So huge, man.
Like, that's
It's that one.
that's that in itself is like a beacon of hope that, and even Jesus himself, he leaves the 99 for the 1. The
One.
1,
Yeah,
over and over again in the word of God, it talks about 1 being the most important because that 1 can change thousands or millions.
right.
And, I've when I was youth pastor, which was, like, 2 months ago, I was guilty of, you ask someone at youth camp, you cross paths with the other youth pastors, and you're like, "So how's your youth group doing?" "Oh, we got about 30 or 40," and it's
Right,
automatically a number count
right.
instead of, so coming from a smaller church, I got, 10 to 15, and I'm like, "Yeah, I've got about 15," and you add maybe a couple on the back end of the numbers, to
Right, right. But and it kinda leaves you and that's one thing that I've quit doing to my brothers because it's like, we should not make another brother feel as if his ministry is not as significant as ours based on numbers.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter about the number. It doesn't matter. I need quality. And that's what we have to bring to the table every single day because, geographically, your area should be bringing in a lot more kids than my area.
yeah.
And that is what it is. We just have to make sure we're planting the right seeds at the right time every week.
That's
And that's the important part.
Yeah, and making sure that we're doing something of substance instead of
Yep.
just worrying about numbers and putting on a show or giving away free stuff and all this other stuff because we have a bunch of converts, but we have no true conversions.
Yeah. That's what has to change.